Hello, dear learners. I welcome you all to the starting lecture, that is Introduction to Pharmaceutical Chemistry 2 for the students of Diploma in Pharmacy, that is DPharm. So, this Pharmaceutical Chemistry 2 is the subject which you are going to study in your second year. The way in your first year you had the subjects like Pharmaceutics 1, so that will be converted to Pharmaceutics 2, and the code was 805. So here the code for Pharmaceutics 2 is 811. So it starts with 811. Now this is the second subject, Pharmaceutical Chemistry 2. In earlier your first year you had Pharmaceutical Chemistry 1. So Pharmaceutical Chemistry 1 is now Pharmaceutical Chemistry 2. So we are going to talk about in Pharmaceutical Chemistry 2 all about the organic chemistry. You are going to study about different structural features of the drugs and their brand names, official preparations, which is really going to help you out when you will practice in society as a pharmacist. So the knowledge of proper brand names is very much essential for you people to practice as a pharmacist, to be well acquainted with the various brands which are available in the market, various manufacturing plants which are there in the market, manufacturing companies, and so on. And it will be beneficial for you not only for practicing pharmacy, but also it is beneficial for the interviews also, wherever you will go. Any industry, if you are going to face the interviews, that time also it will be helpful for you people. So we are going to study about the structure, then mechanism of actions of some of the drugs. So we will start with the Pharmaceutical Chemistry 2. The subject code is 0812, right? Now first and foremost, very important thing for Pharmaceutical Chemistry 2, not only for Pharmaceutical Chemistry 2, but for each and every subject, I will say, like pharmaceutics, you take pharmaceutics or hospital pharmacy, any subject, this is the very much essential thing which you are observing it on your screen now. What? That is the syllabus. Now Pharmaceutical Chemistry 2 is divided into theory as well as practicals. You will have theory also as well as you will have practicals also. So how the division is, what is this which you are observing now? This is the subject name, right? Theory, subject code is 812, and this 100 hours. That means what? In all, in a week you may have or you will have 4 lectures of Pharmaceutical Chemistry 2. Why? Because it is of 100 hours. So basically if you are going to divide it in a week, so it will become 4 hours per week. Now first point says what? This is a general introduction. You are going to study in the theory first the introduction, like you will study about different functional groups which you have studied in 12th standard, right? The series was like alcohols, right? Ethers, then acids, ketones, esters, aldehydes, etc. and so on. So you are going to study or you are going to revise about the functional groups which are there. Then you are going to talk about the heterocyclic chemistry. What is heterocyclic chemistry? Then organic chemical systems nomenclature. So whenever you are going to talk about any heterocyclic system, the drugs which are there in the market or the drugs which belong to different categories which you are going to study it along with the category wise. So for that, how you draw the structures, how you nomenclate them, what are the common names, what are the IUPAC names. So we are going to study all that in nomenclature system. Then the second point says nomenclature, chemical structure. It covers nomenclating the structures, their drawing their structures, then uses of that drugs, then important physical chemical properties you are going to talk about, then These are different further parameters, like you are going to talk about some important drugs, like say for vaccines are there, for which stability and storage is very much essential. Then some gases are there, anesthetic gases, liquids, which you are supposed to store under a specific storage condition, otherwise the stability gets affected. So we are going to talk about the stability and storage conditions of some important drugs. Actually we are going to study about all the drugs, but it is not that all the drug stability and storage is really very important. It is with respect to certain drugs, like say for vitamins, vaccines, some antibiotics, or some you can say it as anesthetics. So for that kind of we have that kind of medicines or that kind of drugs, you can say stability and storage condition is important to study, and the questions are also probably asked on the same drugs only. Then we are going to talk about the official preparations and brand names. So from this introduction to the content, you might have understood that the pharmaceutical chemistry is basically divided into first the heterocyclic system, their common name and IUPAC name. So IUPAC is not there in your syllabus, but common name. You should know the heterocyclic rings by their common name. It is very much essential, because the drug contains the basic heterocyclic ring in their structure. So you are supposed to memorize the drugs according to the heterocycle which is present. So questions are also asked based on that in examination. So first we are going to talk about we are going to divide it in following points. Like first, if you are going to start with the name of that drug, then the structure of that drug, then IUPAC nomenclature, or if any common name is there, then that common name. Every drug has actually a common name, but IUPAC as well as common name. Then we are going to talk about the physical and chemical properties of that drugs. Then we are going to study about the stability storage condition. Then we are going to study about uses, and then we are going to study about the official preparations and brand names. So this is with respect to one particular drug. But when you will go category wise, say we'll go to next slides. Now this starts with your actual chapters. So in pharmaceutical chemistry 2, according to your standard syllabus sheet, you have 30 chapters. So these are divided in category basis, like antiseptic and disinfectant category drugs you are supposed to study under one chapter. Then sulfonamides you are supposed to study under one chapter. Then anti-leprotic drugs you are going to study in one chapter. So according to the categories, the drugs or the chapters, you can say the chapters are divided, right? So to talk about all 30 chapters and to memorize you people in one lecture is not that possible. Actually, what you are supposed to do, you are supposed to take a notebook, pen, which you are supposed to maintain for a whole year. Now you will say, what madam is telling, that to write down the syllabus sheet. Yes, it is very much essential. Why it is essential? Because if I'm guaranteeing you, if you by heart this syllabus sheet, this syllabus copy, not needed to by heart also, even if you will revise in some, like your whatever spare time you have, that spare time also you can revise this syllabus sheet. You are supposed to just go through the names of the chapter and the drugs which are included under that heading. Names of the chapter and the drugs which are included under that heading. So automatically your 30% work will be done. How? Because in question 1 we are going to see it ahead, the question paper format of MSBT. That question paper format contains question 1 which is of 16 marks. So do you understand the importance of 16 marks? So in that question, basically if you know the entire syllabus sheet thoroughly, then you will be able to solve the question 1 logically also. Even means it's not needed to study for question 1 always. It is quite logical. So and as you all know, that is a sort of MCQ only, because that is not that descriptive answers which are asked in the question 1. You might have experienced in first year also. So antiseptics and disinfectants, this whatever I have highlighted in color, so this is the heterocyclic system, right? This is the heterocyclic system, or you can call it as heterocyclic ring, which is present in this drug, which is proflavin. So the under the category antiseptic and disinfectants, these all drug comes, like first is proflavin, which contains acridine nucleus. So about proflavin, when the question is asked in the exam, so it can be asked like this way also, which is the heterocycle present in proflavin, or it may be asked like draw the structure of drug which contains acridine. So that time you should be aware that proflavin contains acridine. Now here also you can see like sulfadiazine. Sulfadiazine contains pyrimidine heterocycle. So if the question is asked, draw the structure of drug which contains pyrimidine ring, so you should be aware that the sulfadiazine contains pyrimidine ring. Now there can be many more structures ahead, which we are going to study in 30 chapters. There can be some structures which also contains pyrimidine ring. So for example, say in your total syllabus, if 3 drug contains pyrimidine ring, then you can draw any one structure which contains pyrimidine ring, which you know very well. So this is also a plus point if it is not specifically asked. And if they specifically asked, draw the structure of sulfonamide containing pyrimidine ring, then you will have to specifically draw the sulfadiazine. But such specific questions are generally not asked. So antiseptic and disinfectant, we were there on antiseptics and disinfectant. So first drug, now this pronunciation is very much important. You will say why madam is reading the syllabus copy, because there are few of the students which I have observed which they don't know properly the pronunciation of these drugs also. Because you are going to study one more important part. Whatever we have discussed earlier is like 50% part only, you can say. 50% part is what? Definition and classification. It is generally known, or it is generally what you can say talked about pharmaceutical chemistry too usually, that even if you will by heart the definitions and classification, you can easily pass in the exam. But we just don't want to pass, we want to score good marks. So along with the definitions and classification, we need to do all the things which we have discussed in the earlier slide. So to start with the antiseptics and disinfectant, so this is proflavin, benzalkonium chloride, cetrimide, phenol, chloroxylenol and chlorocresol, which are phenolic compounds, formaldehyde, hexachlorophene, nitrofurantoin, and so on. Now why you need to remember all these drugs name? Because you are going to study all these antiseptics and disinfectant under classification. So antiseptic and disinfectant, they have first their definitions, then the difference between antiseptic and disinfectant, and then you have the classification of antiseptic and disinfectant, which we are not going to discuss in detail now, because this is the introduction which we are studying. We are going to go in the depth in particular chapter later on. So these are some of the drugs. Now you will see this asterisk mark on some of the drugs. Like see here, only this contains asterisk mark. Again, this two also means these structures are also important, chloroxylenol and chlorocresol. So wherever you will find such asterisk mark, it is very much mandatory to draw the structures or to learn the structures of at least asterisk mark drugs. Like in this proflavin is there, sulfacetamide is there, sulfadiazine is also there. Then dapsone, now see here asterisk sign you may find. If you will go to next slide, see isoniazide, PAS, ethambutol, DEC, piperazine, see benzyl penicillin, phenoxymethyl penicillin, ampicillin. So wherever you will find such kind of mark, asterisk sign, so it means what? The structures of those drugs are really very mandatory, which you are supposed to do it. No escape from the structures of that drugs. Then coming towards the sulfonamides, this first is sulfadiazine. These structures we are going to look in detail in the classification, right? This is just for you to become familiar with the name I am reading it. Now what is first? Sulfadiazine. So if though for it is for those students who cannot pronounce the drugs properly or who have the problem in writing the spellings and all, it is not for all. For such kind of students, I will give one suggestion that you are supposed to split up the word first. Now here sulfadiazine. So sulfadiazine. So you will be able to easily remember the names. Then sulfaguanidine. Then phthalate sulfathiazole. Phthalate sulfathiazole. Same way succinyl sulfathiazole. Same way sulfadimethoxine. So you are supposed to split the words, split the entire word into 2 or 3 sections. Then you will be able to easily remember the drugs. Then sulfamethoxypyridazine, cotrimoxazole, which is again a very important, a short note is asked on cotrimoxazole. Then sulfacetamide, sulfamethoxazole. Now you will say these many drugs. So not only these many drugs, you have many more drugs which you are supposed to study under sulfonamides classification. So this is just an overview that what kind of drugs or what are the names which we are going to study under the sulfonamides. Then antileprotic drugs, the drugs are clofazimine, thiambutosine, dapsone, solapsone. So this dapsone is very important from the antileprotic point. Then next you have antitubercular drugs. So antitubercular drugs you have isoniazid, PAS, streptomycin, rifampicin, ethambutol, thiacetazone, ethionamide, cycloserine, pyrazinamide. So first and foremost thing is what? You are supposed to write down this entire syllabus sheet, all 30 chapters, their names and the drugs which are included. And this I am going to cover in each and every chapter when we are going to start. Say for example, when we will start antitubercular, then in antitubercular again I will tell you what is the meaning of these bracket things. Like INH contains pyridine heterocycle, carbohydrazide group. Then this salicylic acid nucleus is there in PAS, that is para-amino salicylic acid. Pyrazinamide contains pyrazine. Okay. Then this is anti-amoebic and enthelmintic drugs. So the drugs are emetine, metronidazole, halogenated hydroquinolines, diloxanide furoate, paramomycin, piperazine, mebendazole, DEC. Okay. Then that is diethyl carbamazine, full form of DEC. Antibiotics we will study benzyl penicillin, phenoxymethyl penicillin, benzathine penicillin, ampicillin, cloxacillin, carbanicillin, gentamicin, neomycin, erythromycin, tetracycline, cephalexin, cephaloridine, cephalothene, griseofulvine, chloramphenicol. Then next, like this if you will study, so you are supposed to study, see this 10, then categories only I will read. This is antifungal, then you are supposed to study antimalarial, these many drugs. Then we are supposed to study tranquilizers, then sedative hypnotics, then general anesthetics, antidepressant drugs, analeptics which are also known as CNS stimulant. So here you will have 2 or 3 names also for one chapter, remember this. Like for example, antidepressants are also known as thymoleptics, analeptics are also known as CNS stimulant. So all these minute details we are going to study in that respective chapter when we will study that chapter. Next you have adrenergic drugs, their adrenergic antagonist, cholinergic drugs, cholinergic antagonist. You have diuretics, cardiovascular drugs, coagulants, anticoagulants, local anesthetics you have like general anesthetics. Again you are going to study the difference between general and local anesthetics. So first we have seen antiseptic and disinfectant ka difference. Then we are going to study local anesthetic and general anesthetics ka difference. Then next is histamine and antihistamine. Then analgesic and antipyretics. Then NSAIDs, that is non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. Then we are going to study thyroxine and antithyroid. Then we are going to study the diagnostic agent Then we are going to study anticonvulsants, cardiac glycosides, antiarrhythmic, antihypertensive. All these categories comes under this 27th. This comes under cardiovascular drugs. Then we are going to study vitamins, then steroidal drugs, anti-neoplastic, which are also known as anti-cancer drugs, right? Then we are going to study hypoglycemic drugs. Like hypoglycemic drugs are also known as anti-diabetic drugs. So this way we are going to cover each and every chapter as and when it comes to the syllabus. So this 27th is 27th is included under cardiovascular itself, which was this 19th chapter, and anti-diabetic drugs such as that is hypoglycemic drugs also we have. So total in all it comes to 30 chapters. Then diuretics we have, right? So the books recommended in your syllabus, they have given Pharmacopoeia of India, British Pharmaceutical Codex, that is BPC, then Martindale's Extra Pharmacopoeia, etc. Now practicals. So practicals, actually it is given in syllabus, that is it's of 75 hours. That means the practical comes weekly of 3 hours for one batch. Then first the practicals are divided into these 3 parts. First you are going to study systematic qualitative testing of organic drugs. Then you are going to study the official identification test. So you will have systematic qualitative testing of organic samples, 10 compounds you are supposed to perform. Then identification test, 8 compounds you are supposed to perform, official identification test. Then synthesis you are going to perform. So synthesis you are going to do. So basically these 3 parts are there. Only the practicals are very simple and sweet and short, like just you will have the referral. You are supposed to go according to the referral guidelines, and you are supposed to keep your observation strong. You are supposed to like it's very fun, it's really a fun, like having some color changes, estimation of some elements, then identification test is also a fun, but you are supposed to study it from that point of view, not only study point of view. So we are not going to talk about the practicals in online lectures. We are just going to talk about the theoretical part, but this is just for you people to intimate what we are going to cover in the practical section. So question paper format, this is the link which you can open it later on, or you have question papers available in on MSBT site also. So this is one question paper format which you should be aware of. So I have added it into the presentation. So the question 1 which carries 16 marks, and the questions for 2 marks each are asked, right? So 8 questions are compulsory. So the question is attempt any 8 of the following, each carries 2 marks, so 16 marks question. So you will have multiple options in this question, but try to attempt a proper 8 questions so that you will not lose your marks in question 1. Try to get the full marks in question 1, because this is very simple, sweet and short answers, but you are supposed to be bit logical or bit practiced. You are supposed to have a bit practice, daily practice, because Guru Mantra for Pharmaceutical Chemistry 2 is practice, practice and practice. Unless and until you don't practice, you will not be able to remember the classification, you will not be able to remember the structure. Okay, so practice is really very much important for pharmaceutical chemistry too. It's not like theoretical subjects, like you will sit for a one night and you will be able to pass easily, right? But if you practice properly, then you can score 80 out of 80 also, mark my words. Out of marks also you can score in pharmaceutical chemistry too. But the Guru Mantra for that is what? Practicing and practicing. So these type of questions are asked generally, like structure and numbering method for any heterocycle. For example, if they are asking you draw the structure and numbering method for pyrimidine or pyridine, right? So you are supposed to draw the structure of that heterocycle and you are supposed to number them. That's all, and you will get 2 marks. Then they may ask you some of the definitions. They may ask you the structures of some drugs, or they may give you IUPAC name, and from that IUPAC you are supposed to draw the structure. Or they may give you some category name, say for give the example of any one hypoglycemic drug which belongs to so and so class. So you are supposed to write down the structure, or you are supposed to draw the structure of that drug. Then structure and numbering method again, sometimes it can be repeated. Then uses or stability and storage conditions, some brand names they may ask you. See the names of 2 drugs from the categories, like give the names of the drug which are antileptic. So you are supposed to just write down the names of that category drugs and you will get 2 marks. So for this question also it is very much important to by heart the syllabus, right? Then structure of following. So again structure is asked, structure and uses are asked. Any one structure they will ask you and uses of that. So structure will have 1 mark and uses will have 1 mark, like this. So for example, some general questions like vitamins definition or their importance, any particular vitamin importance. Or they may ask you define vitamins and classify. Or they may ask you any 3 diagnostic agents and their uses, or any 2 diagnostic agents and their uses. 2 diagnostic agents and their uses. So this way question 1 goes. Then again question 2 to question 5, it is of 12 marks, right? And question 6 again attempt any 4. So this way the distribution is there: attempt any 4, attempt any 4, attempt any 4, attempt any 4, attempt any 4. So 3 marks or 4 marks questions are there. Generally such type of questions can be asked. Define any particular category and classify that category drugs. Or they may ask you combine questions like classify and draw the structure of particular drug, or classify and give the structure of particular drug, classify and give the uses of that particular drug. Or they may ask you definition, uses and structure ka combination. Or they may ask you definition, stability, storage, official preparation and brand name ka combination. So any combination from these categories can be there for 3 and 4 marks ka question. So if you will go to that link, or if you will find out the question papers, then you will be easily able to go through the structures, go to the questions, and you will get an easy automatic idea what kind of questions are asked. But remember that for each and every chapter we are going to study the repeatedly asked questions. Okay, so I'm going to give you everything, but the thing is you are supposed to practice from your side. Just the thing is that. So this is an assignment for you people. First you are supposed to download all the question papers from the MSBT site, summer and winter 19, 18, 17, 16. Then model answers for the same summer and winter 19, 18, 17, 16. At least this much is very much mandatory. Then these model answers you are supposed to sort it. That means you are supposed to actually there is no need of sorting. I am going to give you the lectures in that way only. But the thing is you can sort it. Question 1, all cumulative question 1s you can put it together. Then all classifications you can put it together. All definitions you can put it together. All structures you can put it together. So we are going to study according to the pattern only. But the thing is, at the end when you are going to appear for the board exam, if you will keep these things ready, that means definitions at one place, classification at one place, structures at one place, uses at one place, stability, storage at one place, then what you can say, properties of some drugs which is previously as at one place. So that is the end of the day. But we are going to study accordingly only, and we are going to divide it in sessional wise part. Like if you out of 30 chapters, if you have some 10 chapters for sessional 1, then 10 chapters ka summary before sessional 1 only we will cover, like that. Then segregation ho gaya according to these categories. Now we have finished with the introduction part. So thank you.